Bank.
The United States tonight is calling for calm in Honduras after violent clashes between police and protesters. Those protests coming one day after the surprise return of ousted President Jose Manuel Zelaya. Zelaya, an ally of leftist strongman Hugo Chavez, taking refuge tonight in the Brazilian embassy, a move creating chaos in his country and sparking heated international debate. Inez Ferre with our report.
Mayhem and violence outside the Brazilian embassy in Honduras. Police using tear gas to break apart pro-Zelaya demonstrations. Streets are blocked. Curfews are in place. The ousted president snuck back into his country and went to the Brazilian embassy for asylum on Monday, throwing Honduras back into a state of chaos. Zelaya appeared before crowds of supporters gathered outside the embassy. He says he wants to talk with the interim government. The State Department said it's discussing possible assistance to the Brazilian embassy. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton says she wants dialogue.
It's also imperative that the return of President Zelaya does not lead to any conflict or violence, but instead that everyone act in a peaceful way to try to find some common ground.
But the top-ranking Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee says it's Zelaya's actions that put his countrymen at risk.
It is a provocative one that is going to incite outside agitators to come into Honduras, possibly risk the lives and the safety and the well-being and the economy of the Honduran population.
Congresswoman Ross Lehtinen disagrees with the Obama administration's approach to Honduras, arguing that the U.S. is ignoring what led up to his removal. Zelaya was ousted in June for planning a referendum that could have paved the way for longer term limits, something deemed unconstitutional in Honduras. Since then, the U.S. has refused to recognize the interim government, suspended visas, and cut off millions of dollars in aid to Honduras. The Organization of American States, along with the European Union, have backed Zelaya and called for his reinstatement.
And the State Department says the U.S. Embassy in Honduras is closed because of the fluid situation there. The interim president wants the Brazilian embassy to hand over Zelaya for arrest, something Brazil says it won't do. And Brazil insists it didn't know that Zelaya would show up at its embassy, but critics question that, given that by the end of the day, some 70 people had shown up at the embassy, Lou, and they're saying it's really hard to say that, well, what, nobody knew about this?
Well, the politics here are pretty transparent. This administration, the Obama administration, as expressed by Secretary of State Clinton, obviously supporting Zelaya, also still maintaining they want him back in power, are they not?
They want him to be reinstated. And in fact, yeah, and elections are coming up in November.
And aligning themselves there without question, with Nicaragua, with Brazil, Venezuela, Evo Morales, I mean, the list goes on. This is, it's no surprise that Republicans are reacting rather testily to the situation in Honduras.
Yep.
All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. And that's for Ray. Up next here, Senator Baucus. He's looking for some friends. I'm looking to